Clown in a Cornfield is a 2025 American film directed by Eli Craig and stars Katie Douglas, Aaron Abrams, Carson McCormick, Kevin Durand, and Will Sasso. It is based on the 2020 Adam Cesare novel, and the plot follows a teenage girl named Quinn, played by Katie Douglas, and her father Glenn, played by Aaron Abrams. And they're trying to start fresh after the loss of Quinn's mother. So they found a small town far away, from all their problems. A town with a history of kids being murdered, though, back in 1991. And Glenn is going to be the new doctor in this town. Now, I'm kind of a sucker for killer clown movies. I mean, you guys know how much I love Terrifier, and I will kind of watch anything that like that as long as it's good. But for me, Art the Clown reigns supreme. But I wanted to see can Friendo the Clown maybe claim the throne. So the film starts off and it's 1991. Same little town of Kettle Falls, Missouri, where a group of teens are out doing, teen partying type stuff. This leads to a few of them getting slaughtered by the Bay Pen corn syrup mascot, Friendo the Clown. You get a great title card. Pretty awesome opening, I'd say. Then jumping to present day, you meet Quinn and her dad, Glenn, like I said. You get the feeling that these two have been through a lot, and their relationship is a little strained. I really didn't expect the fairly heavy emotional stuff, not really knowing, about the books and all that. But then I went into this, pretty blind. That said, the acting is pretty good, really good, actually, leagues better than I expected. Which I guess you're now wondering, well, what did I expect? Well, first, I know that the film is, like I said, based off of a book series, and it's a young adult book series, but it is a rated R film. So I was honestly just hoping for, a meat and potatoes clown slasher. And it is a slasher and a horror comedy, maybe in the vein of stuff like the Scream franchise and Nightmare, or not Nightmare, but Friday the 13th. I think really if you put the two of those together, kind of gives you, the building blocks of Clown in the Cornfield, but it's a little more than that also. You learn pretty quick that, most of the characters here are teenagers, the kids that Quinn makes friends with at school. And I'll admit, I assumed that, these would be kind of bland, soulless characters, but they actually aren't, and I'm really happy to report that. I really appreciated that. The town sheriff, played by Will Sasso, seems to really have it out for these kids, almost like a personal vendetta against them. There's a scene where the kids, want to do high school kids stuff, so they need some alcohol to have a party, and the way they get it was pretty clever. So I really did like the way that you see that these are good kids. The convenience store scene where you see one of the kids steal a bottle of booze, but then he leaves a $20 bill on the counter. I'm a dad, and I'd be proud as shit if my son ever did something like that. But that said, I wasn't really drawn to any of their personalities or anything. I would like a little bit more, maybe, individuality, from my characters, but that's just me. Again, I mean, the performances were pretty good, especially Katie Douglas, and also the reveal when you learn that two of the kids have feelings for each other was actually really heartwarming, and I kind of needed that. Will Sasso was also great as Sheriff Dunn, and it's always cool to see Kevin Durand, who has been known to steal the show from time to time if he's given the opportunity. Now you're probably wondering why I haven't been talking really very much at all about Friendo the Clown himself. And I mean, there's a lot to say with him. If you've seen the trailers, though, you've seen him in action. He can be kind of funny at times and can toy with his victims a little bit, but not exactly a ton going on there. It's not Art or Pennywise. And that isn't me, going after Friendo or anything, because he isn't supposed to be Pennywise or Art. And while I kind of wish that he was, this is a very different type of film. I mean, sure, there are some fun slasher elements that reminded me of the Friday series or even the Scream franchise, but it's also a drama and kind of like a coming-of-age story. I'll admit, not knowing anything about the books based off the trailer, I was expecting more of a straightforward slasher, and it's also kind of what I wanted. This is well written and well acted, but you go long stretches of time where things kind of steer too far away from horror for me. With lesser actors, though, this would have been a mess, but it still tested my patience at times. It's also a very, twists and turns type horror film with, reveals. And again, not really what I wanted, but it's all done, I mean, fairly well, minus some minor pacing issues. There's some decent mayhem, some solid gore, but mostly during the climax. And I think a little bit more could have been, kind of sprinkled throughout the film. I was a huge fan of Eli Craig's 2010 directorial debut, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. You've probably seen that. If you haven't, it's just a classic, kind of a cult classic horror comedy. Um, and I'm still a fan of it to this day, but I don't think I could really put Clown in a Cornfield next to it. So I'm giving Clown in a Cornfield a 6.5 out of 10. I absolutely cannot believe this was made with a $1 million budget. That kind of blows my mind. And it's doing pretty well, so there's likely going to be a sequel, and I'll absolutely be there to see it, to support, Eli Craig and just see where the story takes us. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you at the multiplex.